Hi everybody and welcome to Prior Postcliffe College's English department. My name is Rachel Williams and I'm one of the English teachers and progress tutors here at Prior. I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about the English language course, just to give you an overview of what the course entails and what kinds of skills that you'll need in order to be successful on the course. If you come and join us in September, then you should have either myself or my colleague Joel Ingram teaching you for English language. And the specification that we do is the AQA spec. If you just have a look at the PowerPoint that I've got in front of me here, I'll be able to show you some of the things that you need to be aware of when you're making this decision to do the course. So obviously it's a two-year course, a two-year linear course, which means that all of your important exams come at the very end of 2 years, and that is 80% of your A level. 20% also comes from a coursework folder, which is completed in the second year. So you've got your whole first year to kind of really get to grips with the linguistic concepts and ideas and terminology that you'll need to know. And then some of that will be used as an independent coursework folder in the second year. So how is language different to school? Well, it has many similar skills involved. So all the things you've learned at school about analysing texts, using terminology to label language features, interpreting language, all of that is still important, which is brilliant because that means you've got a head start on one of the key skills that will be assessed. But the amazing thing about the A-level course is that now English language becomes a subject in its own right. So you're not just having your skills tested in how you use the English language, you are actually studying the language itself now as well. So firstly, we spend the first term thinking about how different contexts or situations can affect language use. All language use is context dependent, so we need to think about how we might adapt or change our language depending on the situation. There is a lot of terminology to learn, lots of key terms. If we don't learn all that terminology, then it's quite hard to pick apart and deconstruct language without it getting a bit messy when we're writing about it. So you need to have a good memory for key terms and the willingness to revise regularly. Lots of analysis and comparison of unseen texts. So this will be things like transcripts of speech, online texts such as web forums and social media, but also lots of written texts, for example, newspaper articles as well. And some of these will be really quite challenging broadsheet newspaper texts as well. As well as analysing, we need to be able to produce essays of a debate or analysis, evaluative style nature. And then this is where we really get to grips with what we call the socio-linguistic aspects of the course. And this is where it massively differs from GCSE. So we look at units such as language and gender. How is language used to discuss and represent men versus women? Is it fair? Is it sexist? And how do you use language differently depending on whether or not you are a man or a woman? Language and social groups, so we look at micro level social groups such as your friendship groups, all the way up to macro level groups like social class and background and how that affects language, along with how region and geographical factors affect things as well. So, you know, whether you are a Brummie or a Scouser, a Geordie or a Cockney, but also how English has travelled around the globe and how it's used in different countries as well, such as places like India, South Africa, Australia, America, and Singapore. We look at ideas about ethnicity, sexuality, age, occupation, how all of these different things might affect the way you use language. Next is a unit on children's language development. So as well as studying the language itself, we look at how we actually acquire it. How do we go from being babies or toddlers unable to use any form of language to being able to communicate like you and I? There's a psychological element involved there, lots of theories to do with nature, nurture versus environmental factors. And then the final and one of the biggest topic areas is language change. So how has the language evolved over the years? Why don't we sound like Shakespeare anymore, for example? And also, where is the language going in the future? As I mentioned earlier, there's 20% of a coursework folder in the second year, and you'll do 2 coursework pieces for that. So a piece of original writing, either to persuade or to storytell, and then an independent investigation as well, which is where you get to choose any aspect of the language that you are personally interested in, design your own question, collect your own data, and write up your own independent 2,000-word report. So really interesting, lots to get your teeth into. Some skills aspects are similar to school, but a lot of the content is brand new, it's different, and our students do love it. Finally, what are the essential skills? You know, how do you know you're going to be able to succeed on this course? Well, firstly, as I said before, you need to be willing to learn lots and lots of key terminology, but also lots and lots of theories, and not just learn the theories, but be able to evaluate them critically as well, and engage in discussion with others about how far or to what extent you agree with certain ideas about language. You need to be perceptive about how situations cause language use to change. Definite ability to discuss things and to share ideas with classmates. English is all about communication and getting involved. And finally, of course, you've got to be able to read and to write well, both analytically, evaluatively, comparatively and creatively. So you need to come to us with those skills pretty well developed already so that you can build on them at advanced level. Okay, so we're looking forward to meeting you all on some of our taster sessions and preview days over the course of the year. And if you have any questions at all, you can drop us an email at the college, and it will be passed along to Joel or I for us to get back to you. Okay, thanks very much. See you soon.